Okay. Looks like I finally got that working. That was very weird. Sorry for the delay. I'm 6 minutes late because my stream wouldn't start for some reason. So now I get to set this back up and y'all get to watch. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties happen to the best of us. All right, a little higher there. Come on. Bonjour to you too, Wheeler. Man, I'm sorry. Come on, you. All right, that should work for a bit. Callie and Grace 3 says, I love your work. Thank you so much. Well, we're off to a bit of an awkward start on this one, but we'll see if I can salvage this. Yeah, I had to restart the stream like 8 times. It was very strange. So I apologize for that slight delay there. Probably need to update something. So I'm going to be working at least partially on this snowy scene. You all really enjoyed the post I made of this this snowy foreground here. And I'm figuring out how to do the ice. A lot of this I'm going to go back over and refine, but a first pass on everything. Figuring out where to put black so as to not make it so heavy it doesn't feel like, ice. But some of it is also legitimately rock. So I'm figuring this one out as I go. This is going to be a fun challenge. Wheeler says, figured I'd do something different for an intro. Keeping it interesting. All right, let's see. I'll go over here. Let me start with this heavy line. Oh, come on, brush. This is a foreground element, so it's going to have heavy containment line. The ice crunching. Glover RP. Hello, stranger. I have almost figured out a certain something this morning. Glover. I don't know if it's Glover or Glover, but sorry. Usernames, But I almost figured out a certain something that I'm going to have a lot of fun working on once I settle on a composition. Always plenty going on around here. So let's see. Take that shape there. So there's a lot of ways to handle ice. I am by no means an expert on it because I'm just kind of jumping into this now. But just based on my visual research for this page, there's so many ways to go about it. You get the really sort of crystalline angular ice, which is more like what I'm going for, that sort of goes in, spikes and spires like this. And that's going to be more sort of triangle based. And you get like round, chunky snowball ice, and really just kind of all kinds. The nice thing is it's very organic. It's very organic, and you can just sort of make sloppy lines, and that's okay. That works for it. Hold on, there was a question here. Do you need to shade differently for ice, for shadows, and light source? Sometimes. It depends. Like, you think about, that sort of plasticky Hollywood ice that light shines all the way through. And if I were going for that, I would probably have to shade pretty differently. But I'm really just more going for like a more opaque ice. Like maybe even just rock with sort of snow and a topping of ice on it. So some of them I'm going to shade differently. Some of them I'm going to shade like, normal rock. And there's going to be a lot of spatter to push this into the background for atmospheric perspective. And also, to look like snow. So it'll have a softness and a far awayness to it. Glover says, hi, that's pretty exciting. How did the highlighter mold solution pan out? I didn't look it up, but that's the second time it's done that, and it's very strange. I'm very confused. I've never had that happen before, and I use those highlighters like almost every day, so I don't understand how it's a growing mold like overnight, and it's just the pink one. It's very weird. For those of you who didn't see all of my Instagram stories earlier, I have oh wait, I got it right here. It's the weirdest thing. Because you all totally want to see this, right? That is just mold growing on my pink highlighter. And I cleaned it once, and it's back like the same day, or like the next day. So I'm very confused. I've never seen that happen before. It's very weird. I'm wondering if there's some sort of weird curse going on. Let's see. I'm already losing track of the comments here. Okay, Wheeler says, wouldn't a car window or house window shading be close to look like an ice look? No, that syntax did actually make sense. I got lost in it. Again, it depends. Unless the ice is super smooth, like glass, which none of this is. I guess you get some surfaces that are fairly smooth, and that I am rendering somewhat like you would render glass, or a window or something. But, I mean, there's different ways to highlight really any surface you can come up with. There's not hard and fast rules. You can sort of approach it any way you want. So it really depends, and I'm figuring it out as I go here, which, don't tell 8 people in my feed, which is how most comic book artists go. They just sort of figure it out as they go, because there's so much to learn. There's no way you can know everything before you start a project or start a career. You just have to have a headspace where you're always learning and being able to pick up new things. Let's see, what are people saying? Buddy Firehawk says poison ink. Yeah, it's the mold growing ink in that pink pen for whatever reason. Is there any way to archive this, because I'm really needing some help with inking and I love your ink method? Uncanny Kodiak, I don't delete my live streams, so this is going to be posted on my account just like a regular post, so you can access it at any point afterwards. So you're not gonna lose this one. Don't worry about it. This is COVID marker. That's awesome. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's get back on this. Doing some of this ice. So I'm going to let these be black, because there's the sun there, or maybe the moon. I don't know. This is an alien planet. Lay in this crunchy snow horizon line here. I will say I learned snow fairly recently, and obviously I'm not a master of it by any means, but I am very much enjoying these new steps. Understanding some of these new textures. I believe I learned snow on an earlier page of this project, I believe, now that I think about it. All right, let's see. I'm going to pick out my little snow piles. That I put on the ice here. Go. Little mounds. That guy Pat Hagen, give me a thumbs up. Thank you. Yeah, I wasn't thinking I would do this one for the live stream, but the time-lapse process video I did of this section over here was insanely popular, so figured I might as well. Actually, let me finish this here. Didn't quite finish that. Xanabon's here. Hello. Thing about snow that I've always liked is it has the way it builds up, it sort of curves out on itself. It sort of gets muffiny and sort of tips out. There's an edge to it, which I've always loved. even before I drew. I thought that was such a cool visual. Joey Teeth says, I know I asked last week, but what was the scene description for this panel? So if I recall correctly, this page was basically just, this is the intro page for this this environment, this scene. This is the first time we're seeing this location. And it pretty much just describes, like Hoth, it's just like an ice planet, a hostile ice planet with ice spikes and driving wind and piles of snow or whatever. And the only point of the page is that we understand that this character is landed in the bottom of this ravine and is bleeding out or something. So what I did was, in the splash panel, I put this ravine and I composed it so that it's sort of centralized. You see it and it leads you into here. So you sort of understand the association between these two. This character is lying between these two walls, and here is the introduction of these two walls. And Wheeler says, Superman's home. I definitely thought about that many times while beginning this. It's like, oh, I'm just drawing the Fortress of Solitude. And Xenobon says, I love the muffiny thing, but I kind of wanted to eat it, hee hee. Oh, that is actually a real problem I experience. Not so much the wanting to eat it, although if I drew like fancy food, yes, I would. But I have a real hard time not getting sleepy when I draw a character sleeping, or even just like a nice bed is like, yes, please. It's always been one of my many Achilles heels. Not sure what I'm going to do with that shape, but I can always come back. Yeah, don't let indecision petrify you. It's pretty hard to completely mess something up. You can always come back and tweak it or white it out and do it again. You can't fix something that doesn't exist. It's pretty easy to figure out how to fix something that has an obvious error. So don't be afraid to take risks. It's how you learn things. A little bit more ice there. Empire Comics joined. Hello, hello. Xanabon says it's good to feel what the drawing feels. I agree. Well, in some cases anyway. Not always. Waving back, Empire Comics. All right, we get into the internals here. Let's bump this line weight up a little bit. Underside. Wheeler says, I tried to draw a realistic evil tree last week. 6 attempts, all in the recycling bin. Trying, LOL. Dude, that's how it goes, though. And honestly, between you and me, and also everyone on this feed, and the several thousand people that watch it afterwards, so a big secret, I suck at trees, especially evil trees. So I hear that. I want to draw, like, scraggly witch trees like Becky Cloonan's always doing, but I suck at it. It's just one of the many things I got to put on the list. Figure out how to do later. Xanabon says, yeah, I don't want to feel the violent ones. It'll hurt, LOL. There have definitely been things I've drawn, scenes I've drawn that have been, like, tangibly uncomfortable just because of what was happening and how, closely you have to associate with the character to, understand the physicality of the shot and all that. So there's definitely an extent to which you give of yourself, like how actors would talk about, what you give up for the character, what you lose, what you experience and you don't necessarily want to in the name of, the craft. There's some similar things going on there. Clover Clara says, Easter egg? The vague shape of a frozen Steve Rogers hidden beneath the muffiny snow. I mean, I love the idea, but I don't think I would be able to actually make it vague enough for it to be both visible and not immediately noticeable. Some people do a lot of Easter eggs. I rarely have the patience for that. I'm just like, well, I need to stick to the script and get it done as well and as quickly as possible. But I know people that are like, yeah, I'll put in all kinds of Easter eggs. And I'm just like, how do you do that? Wheeler says, it's the branches in the back. Can't get the right shading so they show up correctly. So frustrating. Yeah, I sort of know what you mean. It's so case by case. Things like that. T Firestone says, how do you like the brush pen? I love this one. This is my third one so far. They age at pretty unreliable rates, I've found. Unless the last one was just sort of a fluke. I'm not sure. You know what? Hang on. I need to find my pencils over here. But I love it so far. Put out a lot of perfectly good pages with it, so cannot complain. Alright, let's see. What was going on there? Looks like I wanted that to be black. So let's do that. But thank you for asking. I definitely recommend it. All right, we'll do the containment line first. Either says, is that a hard top or is it soft and you're gentle with it? This is synthetic fiber, so it's so you can see it's basically like a natural brush. It's just the plastic hairs. So it's not like one of those foam ones. It's not like this. You can see is a styrofoam tip. Let's see. I love seeing you guys just having conversations with each other in the feed. T Firestone says, I mostly use a G-nib, but I also like the Pentel pocket brush. Yeah, that's a very popular one. I haven't used that in a few years, mostly just out of laziness because I hadn't replaced the one I had in school. But yeah, I need to try that again. It's very popular and well liked. So yeah, for this kind of crystalline ice, I just stick to sort of geometric shapes. So I was very excited to see my my Knock 'em Dead cover, my variant cover on Bueller's most recent, on Comics with Bueller's most recent Comics and Coffee show. So that's his unofficial variant. So he's going to have his name on that one. That's going to be very exciting. And I was talking to him earlier, and he said he expects to be sold out by tomorrow. So if you're looking to grab one of those, the specific official Bueller ones, hop over to his YouTube channel and follow the link to order yours. Or if you don't care about that particular branding, which is fine, you can wait till the book becomes available through Aftershock. Closer to December, I believe. I don't think it's currently available, but it will be. And if you don't have any idea what I'm talking about, that's fine. You're not really missing that much. Let's see, we got more talk here. Let's see, the multi-step frustration. I want to draw my own tree, then put it on a piece of wood, then paint it. Wow, Wheeler's putting his whole life plan here. Sorry, dude. Firehawk says, is that sold by Dakota? Not the, it may be. If so, not yet. That's specifically the one that's available now is specifically the Comics with Bueller official edition, which you can get if you go to his YouTube channel. He lists just his personal email where you can contact him for it. Like, it's that specific to him. I believe it will eventually be available through Dakota Comics. I'm not sure, but it will definitely at least be available through Aftershock Comics. And I believe it comes out in December. But you're not, if you don't jump on it now, you're not going to miss it. Like, it's still going to be available. Just the very limited ones are the Bueller exclusives. And if you don't know who that is and you're curious, I believe I still have him. I just posted a story in which I tag him and recorded a bit of the YouTube show where he does reference my variant cover. So you can just check that out and you'll be all connected. Oh, my ears are ringing. It's been one of those days, y'all. It was a pretty good day. Like, I was very productive and everything, but you can only go for so long. But I like being able to end the day with streaming with you guys. See, shadow on snow is another tricky thing because snow is so white. It doesn't really hold shadow. Like, you can't cast like a black shadow on snow because it's just not a heavy enough form. Generally speaking, anyway. I'm sure there are plenty of instances of people who have different styles can handle different things. But I don't know if you can see here. I'm just trying to get like a light render line for the shadow cast across the snow. Seeing how that works out. If that'll look correct. See. Clover, you're dropping a lot of names there. I'm impressed, sir. The gist being, contrasting different artists' handling of snow. Yeah, like I said, I am a baby when it comes to handling snow, but I'm trying to keep it interesting. I do think this snow here was pretty successful. I will say that. Andrew J. Brown, hello. Andrew, I don't know if you can hear us yet, but you already missed the conversation about the highlighter, the mystery of which I have yet to solve. All right, I'm going to pull that back out. with my trusty Posca marker. Santa Bon says, yes, I like the snow muffin. Snow muffin's got some real fans. The analytics on that post were crazy. So many people liking that post and like archiving it and sending it to other people. And I was like, really? It's just a video of painting snow. Like, okay. The internet is a vast and mysterious place. I won't look a gift horse in the mouth, but I will be confused by it. Joey Teeth asks, when you do panels over a splash like this, do you draw the entire splash and cover? No, not at all. I mean, there'd be no reason to do that. I mean, there's no, no more than there would be a reason to, like, say, draw everything under here and then, like, white it out. No. I mean, unless you're talking about in the very early stages of the penciling, when you do go behind a little just to make sure the forms all work. But even then, it's fairly minimal. Now, this is not a field where you you do extra drawing, if you can possibly help it. I wish it were, but that is not the industry we currently have. Andrew J. Brown says, one of my most successful posts was me just saying, it's my birthday. And I thought, why? LOL. Yeah, I mean, also the algorithm has something to do with it. I need to study the algorithm more and just understand, like, what weirdness goes on there. What prompts this mysterious and vengeful app to behave as it does. Xanabon says, I want to thank you for telling me about Posca markers. Saved me a lot of time when working traditionally. Heck yeah, dude. Posca markers are the best. I love them. Yeah, Zach Howard got me into Posca markers, and now I am completely hooked. Yeah, I just don't know if that should be black or not. I'm going to do some of the snow to comfort myself. When in doubt, take a minute and do something you know you're good at. Get your confidence back up. Sort of that crunchy snow. That snow that squeaks when you step in it, you know? Andrew says, I tried getting a Posca marker, but my store only had them in mint green. Yeah, I don't even bother going to stores for art supplies anymore. I just get them on Jet Pens if I can, and Amazon if I can't get them anywhere else. Support Jet Pens. Wheeler says, snow yet in South Dakota? You could have something to go off of. We don't have snow right now, although we had snow. We had like a premature snow a few weeks ago, but this past week, which is fortunate for me because I was on the farm, was like in the 70s. So we're having a very indecisive Midwest-style winter in these parts. All right, there it is, looking all snowy. Andrew says, haven't heard of Jet Pens. Thanks for the tip. Yeah, Jet Pens is an awesome, awesome site. Most of the stuff in my arsenal is from Jet Pens. Let's see. I'm going to try these Fragile Shadows. See if that works. I mean, it'll work to some extent. It's a question of if it works well, you know? I'm pretty okay with that. That actually feels pretty nice. Oh, all right, let's see. 38 in rating right now in the Twin Cities, says Wheeler. Should be here again soon. 4 to 6 inches a couple weeks back. Yeah, I mean, I think we got pretty much the same autumn blizzard. We always rush it, though. When it gets here, we wish it were summer again. I apologize for my profound levels of Midwesternness as I sit here talking about the weather. Show this little hill there. That's coming along nicely. Yeah, man, those shadows are working nicely. I may change them completely to put black in here in these X spots, so I'm not sure yet. All right, I'm going to let that think. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to work on these clouds. So give me a second while I get my nib ready, because I prefer the nib for these little clouds. Hold on, let me take a drink of tea over here. Okay. Last time I used this nib, it was getting a little bit aged and less specific, so we'll see how this goes. There we go, getting the feel for it again. Yeah, I think this one is getting a little old, but I'll get it through this page. Everyone's having a full conversation about the weather. That is hilarious. Clara, anyone else got a tattoo of your artwork? Saw the bearded guy again last week. That's got to be really cool for you. Yeah, it was super cool. No one else that I know of, at least, and I would hope that they'd, ask. But even if not, that would still be pretty cool. Yeah, to my knowledge, he was the first. First and only so far. Does that mean you saw him in person? Is he local to you? Midnight Vista Aliens would be a cool tattoo. I mean, maybe. They're just grays, though. They're just like regular grays. Nothing fancy about them. Sophie Mayhew says, I didn't know. That's so cool. You mean you didn't know about the tattoo? Sophie, did you not see that post? That was a while ago. It's pretty cool, though. Yeah, the big beard print. Somebody tattooed that. There's that. Sophie says, yeah, sorry, guess I missed it. That's awesome. Oh, no worries. Good to see you in here. Wheeler, it does, or goes. It goes. Goes from his shoulder almost to his elbow. He bled for Clara. Hope he didn't bleed too much. That's a lot of line art on that thing, I'll tell you that. So these aren't quite the type of clouds I wanted to do for this scene. I wanted to do like, you know, the streaky cold clouds, like in winter. You know what I mean? Those sort of icy clouds that are more like stretched and not billowy. But I ended up doing these like a coward. I think they still look okay. And I wanted it to feel a little incongruous because it's supposed to be an alien planet. So that's sort of my argument for wimping out. Yeah, Sophie, if you're still there, I'll find you that post and send it to you later. It's a little further back. A little weird, though. Snow clouds are a bit janky. You're right. But clouds are another thing I'm really leaning into right now and figuring out. So this is just a page full of new adventures for me. Sanabon says, I like those clouds, though. Well, good. I like them, too. They just weren't my first thought. Come on. built up a little, you probably can't even see that, but there's a tiny little nodule of cotton from the page sort of stuck in the tip of the nib there, so I gotta clean that out. Okay, looks like I got it clean. Xanabon says, I can't tell how many times my hands were stained by stubborn ink for days. Oh, my hands are stained with ink all the time now. I don't even try to wash it off. See, this thumb always looks like this from toothbrush spatter. There's that. Empire Comics says, I had to Google the type of clouds you were referring to. I must not have paid attention in 4th grade. Dude, who remembers 4th grade? I think you'll be forgiven. You're better than the rest of us for actually bothering to go look it up. I'm just describing things visually. I've noticed there seem to be 2 types of artists, like the ones that, the ones who know what they're referring to, who understand anatomy, like, by terms, who know the names of the muscles and the joints and all that, who could actually remember what type of cloud they're drawing and describe it as they're doing it. And then there's the ones like me who are just like, you know, that type, that muscle there, you know, that one. I'm always impressed with those people who can keep such a vocabulary in their heads. All right, so those will work for now. Oh, you know what? Let me do these 2 suns. I'm going to show you all a very high-tech, fancy, proprietary artist secret for drawing tiny little suns. And it's called this thing. See? How fancy is that? Da, da, da. Bigger won't hurt. There you go. It's another sun. Again, that'll probably get some spatter on it and be softened up a bit. But for now, those are the basics. Let's see. I think I'm going to do these little guys here, just because they'll be cool. And then I will probably wrap it up for the evening, because it is already 6:50. Let's see here. Nice fresh brush. A little bit of snow piled on it. A little bit of snow there. Then I think I'm gonna go do my grocery shopping. there. Him Shadow says, "Hi Clara, I love your inkwork. What brush is that?" So this is my new favorite standby, the Zebra double-sided brush pen. You can find it on Amazon or Jet Pens. It's a really, really nice fine-tipped synthetic fiber. I'm really enjoying it, especially when they're brand new like this one. They're really fine and delicate. A little bit of cast shadow from these guys. Sort of crunchy snow out here. Muffiny edge. Okay. All right. So I'll tell you what, guys. This has been pretty much a full hour. I am happy with what we've got so far. Some good stuff here. Got some good clouds. Got some good spikes. Still non-committal about fully blacking these in, but again, I will figure something out and they will come out looking at least decent, if not better, hopefully. So, I will see you guys next time. Thank you all so much for stopping in, and take care of yourselves.